Hello, I'm Liam O'Neill, and this is your June 8th Sound of Hope China Brief. Secretary of State Antony Blinken gave a speech on China policy. In an effort to criticize Blinken, a CCP spokesman laid bare a party weakness. Human trafficking is a global problem. Today we bring one woman's harrowing story in China. Wrapping up today's show, we have news about the solar panel industry. On May 26th, Secretary of State Antony Blinken delivered a long speech outlining the Biden administration's China policy. Replete with overtures of respect, commitments to peace, and a rules-based order, one phrase roiled the CCP. There are profound differences between the United States, the Chinese Communist Party, and the Chinese government, Blinken said. But these differences exist only between the governments and institutions, not between the people. The line prompted China's foreign ministry to lash out against Blinken, stating he was creating a rift between the CCP and the Chinese people. Quote, "The CCP was born for the people and is the choice of the people," the foreign minister spokesman Zhao Lijian said. Some analysts believe the exaggerated response was because Blinken touched on one of the CCP's most sensitive nerves. Li Hongqing, an American scholar, told the Epoch Times that the CCP precisely knows it is not the choice of the people. Quote, "If they are so confident in their rule, try open elections and see if the party wins," he told the Epoch Times. Yu Mao-chun, the chief advisor of former U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, said in a speech at a Tiananmen Square massacre commemorative event in Washington that whenever the outside world points out that the CCP and the Chinese people are different, authorities always rebuke the idea with gusto. Zhou Xiaohui, a Chinese current affairs commentator, told the Epoch Times that Blinken's line tells the Chinese people to make a distinction between themselves, their nation, and the CCP. Quote, "The unelected CCP cannot possibly represent the Chinese people," he said. He believes the CCP is most afraid of the Chinese people awakening to the truth that there is a distinction between the CCP and the people. Zhou further suggested that to distinguish between the CCP and the Chinese people and hold the CCP accountable for its crimes, Western powers should sanction senior officials, state-owned enterprises, and military enterprises, and even go so far as to freeze their overseas assets. The inhuman conditions of the Suzhou woman found to have been chained for years has enthralled Chinese netizens since the story first broke in January. However, suppression of the news has been constant, from removed searches to deleted posts. Recently, an idea floated online that the 28th of each month should be set aside as a Finding the Chained Woman Day, in order to not forget the harrowing story and human trafficking in general. Wang Qingpeng, a human rights lawyer based in the United States, tweeted her support, writing, quote, "So many people are not letting go of the case and are risking their own welfare by questioning the government." Radio Free Asia reported that authorities had identified the woman as Xiao Huamei. Activist Miss Wui Gu Cheng attracted people's attention for going to Suzhou to visit the chained woman. She was arrested twice for trying to make contact and is reportedly under house surveillance. The lawyer Wang also wrote, "If the chained woman represents the ill-fated masses in China, then Wu represents countless awakened people. Special attention should also be paid to Wu's situation." Many netizens expressed strong support for Finding the Chained Woman Day. Lu Tingge, a lawyer in Hubei province, expressed, "Many questions still remain and cannot be explained by official investigation reports. Moreover, relevant posts are still being blocked, deleted, and even treated as sensitive." A blogger named Xie said that his account had been blocked for expressing concerns over the abduction and trafficking of women. He advocated for establishing one day a month for such victims, stating, As long as the matter remains unresolved by the government, people will remember this kind of inhumane horror and tragedy can happen in the system. According to official data, there were more than 48,000 cases of trafficked women and girls in the 6 counties around Suzhou between 1986 and 2006. On June 6th, the White House announced that it is waiving tariffs for 2 years on solar panel imports from 4 Asian countries. China is not included, and this is due to forced labor concerns in Xinjiang. According to the statement, President Joe Biden will suspend solar panel tariffs for Cambodia, Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam to ensure the U.S. supply, quote, while domestic manufacturing scales up. The Biden administration is pushing expansion of solar power to help achieve its climate goals. However, China dominates the solar global supply chain with nearly half of the world's supply of solar-grade polysilicon coming from the Xinjiang region. More than 1 million Muslim minorities are believed to be detained in re-education camps there, according to U.S. Department of State. On Monday, U.S. Trade Representative Catherine Tai clarified the new tariff policy. The U.S. is 85% reliant on China for solar panels. Quote, the real challenge is that the supply chain runs right through the region of China, where we know there's a significant forced labor problem, she said. Last December, Biden signed the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act into law, a bipartisan bill that bans imports from Xinjiang and imposes sanctions on individuals responsible for forced labor. In June 2021, the U.S. banned all products from Hoshine Silicon Industry Company. That's Xinjiang's biggest producer of metallurgical-grade silicon, a key raw material in solar panels. Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas said at a news conference that the agency has information reasonably indicating that Hoshine uses forced labor to produce its silica-based products. Johannes Bernreuter, a research analyst on the polysilicon industry, said that the top 8 polysilicon manufacturers, which produce more than 90% of the global solar-grade polysilicon output in 2020, have all been mentioned by Hoshine as customers. The Commerce Department also added 4 other Chinese entities to a trade blacklist, including Xinjiang Production and Construction Corps, which is an economic and paramilitary organization, and has allegedly controlled Xinjiang's polysilicon interests. The group has facilitated widespread human rights abuses against Uyghur Muslims. The Trump administration imposed sanctions on the company in 2020. The White House is now looking to permit more clean energy projects on public lands, including both solar and wind, and will use federal government procurements to increase demand. And that's our show for today. Please like and share this video with friends and family, and we'll see you next time.